Today's question for ISFJs: taking risks and pursuing passions is hard for me. Do you have any tips? In this video, we'll go into some of the normal advice that is very helpful, and then we'll actually go into more of how to use your personality type to allow you to pursue your passions without the fear of the unknown and being overwhelmed with all the possibilities. What's up, legend? It's Sherman here from Geek Psychology, where I help geeks, gamers, and creatives to leverage their personality type's strengths to get over the weaknesses, find motivation through personality type, so that you can live a life of meaning and purpose and become the hero of your own story. And as an ISFJ, you might be struggling to get out of your comfort zone to pursue more of your passions, and yet you know that every heroic story relies on the person going out of the zone of the known, out of their comfort zone, crossing the threshold into the unknown, fighting through a bunch of different challenges, learning, getting new skills, meeting new allies, clashing with the boss or whatever the actual goal is, and then bringing back change and the elixir. And this whole cycle is really important, but it's also scary. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone to do things that you haven't experienced before, especially, I would imagine, as an ISFJ. I'm an INFP, I have my own blend of it, but I know, based off personality type, based off the ISFJs that I know, and my own self, that it can be more daunting and more difficult than it really needs to be. So let's talk about first, most people will probably suggest things like step out of your comfort zone. I say that all the time. This is not bad advice, but this is stuff that you may have heard before. Follow your heart, embrace uncertainty, start small, be brave, set goals, and work on overcoming your fear. Again, those are all good. There's a lot of important, meaningful advice in that, but it doesn't really account for your personality type. It's not tailored to how your psyche is structured. So let's talk a little bit about ISFJs, how the personality type is structured, and then let's go into some tips and techniques and tricks and see if my mouth will allow me to say all the things that I want to say. So I call ISFJs the unifying guardian. So you are led, the hero of your story, the one that the spotlight is on most, is introverted sensing, which I call the stabilizing guardian as a full name. There's a descriptor and then a noun, stabilizing guardian. And as you imagine, this character is about stabilizing things with a trusted standard, about following tradition, about doing what works, what has proven to work, and continuing to do that. There's no need to shake things up, reinvent the wheel. If it already works, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And within that comes a knowing of culture, of traditions, of history, of embracing what has happened before and really learning the lessons from that. And I call it a guardian because it's got the bulwark. It's standing up in the front, protecting, not offensively in the front, but it's there. It's a protector to defend off the chaos that is coming. And it's always coming. And that plus your extroverted feeling, this is your auxiliary function, the mentor of your story. This is the unifying envoy, which is a character that is about proactively supporting other people, about meeting other people's needs, about stepping up and shaking hands and hugging out and making sure that everybody is topped off. AOE, heals all over the place, just making sure everybody's good and on the same page, working together so that there's no like outliers that are going to create some chaos as well. So that's why it's the unifying guardian. You put the descriptor of your auxiliary function and the noun from your dominant together. And as a unifying guardian, you do have a lot of knowledge and practice and skill in making sure other people's needs are met. But sometimes it's hard to assert yourself and say, well, this is what I want to pursue. And you've got to care for your family and friends and community. And like, well, what's going to happen if you pursue your passions and neglect some of those? Well, it will be okay. We do rely on you a lot, but it will be okay and things will be better off if you are happy and healthy and have rejuvenated yourself and are pursuing your passions. Because then it's like putting on your oxygen mask first. You got to make sure that you are healed and cared for and you got your mana replenished as well. You've gotten a good 9 hours rest, right? So let's talk about introverted sensing again. The Guardian, what you want to do is leverage the Guardian's insights from your past to plan calculated steps towards your passions. So spend time as you want to do anyway, as is refreshing and rejuvenating to you. Spend time in your past, but look specifically for how can I pursue this new passion or pursue this passion more based off what has happened in the past, what worked for you before, and just implement that. This is already something that you're really good at, but maybe you haven't looked at it as much for yourself. What were you doing? Who were you with? How old were you? What was the environment like? What was your identity label? Who were you like as a person? What did you call yourself? What did other people call you? What capabilities and skills do you need to develop in order to pursue this passion in the way that's going to work best for you? And if you have that past experience, you have your quest log and you've poked through it and you've figured out what is necessary for you to feel comfortable, then pursuing your passion becomes a lot easier. It's not as worrisome. You're not going to trip over as many stones along the way, and you'll have more confidence going into it because you've done it before. You just did it in a different domain. So move it over to this one. And it could be from any domain. Any experience that you've had in your life has taught you plenty, and you know that. So bring it into your pursuit of your passions. Next, utilize your Envoy's supportive network of people. You can reach out to tons of people, I'm sure. Maybe not as much as the ESFJs, who are a lot more offensive in that. But you have people that rely on you, that you can rely on, that care for you. So reach out to them as a network to boost your confidence, to support you as you are pursuing different passions or taking a risk in whatever domain that could be in and whatever scale that is. Get some help. You don't always have to be the one helping everybody else. Let us help you too. And just if you've checked in with your guardian, you know more about what you're going to need. You know that when you got to this hurdle, it was quite difficult and it took too long to get over it, or you almost quit. Well, at that time, at that point, as you have reflected over, then maybe you know that that's the time to bring in an ally, to get some other heals from other people and other support. And then that'll help you get back on the track and you'll be okay. And one last point that will be helpful for you is to think about your inferior function, extroverted intuition, this innovating explorer character, that's vanguard that wants to go out there, as opposed to a protector, as opposed to a guardian. It's an explorer, right? It wants to try new things and put you in different contexts. If that isn't intentionally brought out, then it's going to find a way out. It's going to just be like, I am going to redesign my whole house right now. I'm going to move to another place, elope. I'm going to pursue this other thing that is maybe uncharacteristic to you. So give it some time. Allow it to explore. Allow it to take some calculated, perhaps, risks, to pursue some passions in a way that is a bit different than always. And the more you do that, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, the higher caliber your experiences will be, because you will have gotten a broader range of experiences that you can sift through and find more insights, more nuggets of understanding. And that can carry you on to your next pursuits. So as an ISFJ, when you are into a new hobby, you probably want to sample all the things from that hobby. Like if you're getting into trains, there are a lot of people that like trains in Japan. If you are getting focused on that, well, then you're probably going to want to ride the train around to all these different locations, ride a bunch of different trains, study the different types of trains. And so you're enjoying learning from a wider range, you know? And that's good. Embrace that. And if you have a new passion or new hobby that you're going to pursue, maybe start small, but then stretch it out. Explore more and more of it. Allow that explorer to do what it wants to do in healthy doses so that it doesn't burst down the, hey, I'm here, and just shake up your life. It's not what you want. So let me know down below in the comments what was helpful in this video. And if something did help you, like, share, subscribe. That really helps the channel. And pass it off to a loved one or another ISFJ. And let's get this support train going. Does that make sense? I don't even know. Good luck, have fun. Peace.